Hey there, do you want to learn all about the index and match function in Microsoft Excel? If yes, then this video is absolutely for you. Do watch it without the fail. In this video, I'm going to explain the easy steps to use the index and match function in MS Excel. This is the second video lined up on this subject. Just to make your understanding much better on this subject on index and match function, I would recommend you to go and watch the previous session first and then come back here to see the example that how we can use this index and match function in other different scenarios. And I'll take you through the complete steps in constructing the index and match function and nesting them out in multiple ways, right? And all this has been done using a very simple data which will be very easy to recreate and understand. You can easily get this exercise file downloaded in your system using the link provided in the description of this video. So go ahead, watch this complete video, practice this concept in the exercise file provided to you, and become the master of it. Hello everyone, welcome back to this Microsoft Excel tutorial journey with me on my Knowledge Factor YouTube channel. This is session number 125 as a continued part of last session 124, and we are learning the Excel's lookup function in Microsoft Excel. Let's take a look at one more example here using the same index and match function that we just discussed in our last video. Now for that, I want to go back inside the VLOOKUP exercise file. Let me just jump over there. Okay, so I'm looking at the VLOOKUP function worksheet, but we are going to mess this up so that we can see how we can replace the VLOOKUP and overcome another limitation. So we are kind of more of a new sense on our part and how we can use the index and match to help us out here. Now, hopefully you all did some practice. You went through this complete worksheet of VLOOKUP and completed the last name, department and the pay rate calculation using the VLOOKUP function. But I'm going to delete those out, all that hard work. So I'll just grab from D3 till F18 and hit the delete key. Let's get rid of them. Now I have still got the first name here because I want to demonstrate something here, and I'm going to demonstrate this because this is why instead of using the VLOOKUP we are going to use the index and match function in this worksheet. So this will make you very much clear the reason behind why we are going to replace the VLOOKUP with the index and match function. Alright, so I'll pause here for a moment and request you all who have not yet watched the video on VLOOKUP, please go back and watch that video to get the better understanding on what we are doing and why we are doing. Alright, so the first one I got, first name, Howard, right? It went and found 1054, searched for it and returned first name back to me, Howard, for that employee ID. And that was great, right? I copied that down and I got all the employees, all their first names. That is also good. But now I want to get the last name, department and the pay rate for these employees. Okay, so well, if I drag that to the right, wait, it's still giving me Howard. What's happening here? So I want department, still Howard. I want pay rate, still Howard. I don't want it, right? I don't want these values. I was looking for the last name, department and pay rate. So what's happening, right? So if I drag this down here, I look at the formula. Let's open up the FX window to make it more clear. So the column index num, this number 3 here, right? And this is static value. That value is not changing. Remember that number? It represents which column first name is found within. Master employee list, column number 1, 2 and 3. So 3 is where the first name is at, right? So if I want to continue using the VLOOKUP, I would have to go to this formula, wipe out number 3, change that to, I think it was number 2, hit enter. Yep, Smith, Howard Smith, right? Because the last name is in the second column. See, the last name is in the second column. 1, 2. Well, department is in 1, 2, 3, fourth column, and pay rate is in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's in the ninth column. So I can come over here, drag this over, but then I would have to edit both of these formulas. So this is number 4 because department is in the fourth column, and this is number 9 because pay rate is in the ninth column. That's a hassle, right? I mean, it's not that big as a hassle, but it takes me a little bit of time to fix. But imagine this, I'm going to get rid of all of these except the first one. Imagine creating one formula and dragging that down, dragging it to the right, and it would do it all for you, right? This is where the index and match really shines. So nesting these two together, we can complete this entire table in one formula. So ready for this? Excited? Here we go. Alright, so I'm going to delete that out as well. Let's just keep the employee ID, and that's it. So I'm going to go to cell C3 and I'm going to start this out by utilizing the index function equals index open parenthesis. Now to make this more visual, I'll hit the FX button. I'm going to use the first option there for the index, and here we go. Alright, so now the first time we did this formula, we are thinking of a first name, right? That's when I want to get there. But we need to keep in mind that eventually I want to get it for every employee ID, should be able to drag that formula down, but then I also want to be able to drag this to the right and get their last name, department, pay rates without any edits on my part. Alright, so we need to keep this in mind as we are building this function here. So this calculation, right? Well, this calculation is going to be pretty involved. There's going to be a lot of little pieces moving around here. So pause, rewind if you need to, and do whatever, right? But get some practice. That's what is really important here. Now watch this video, get a grasp of what we are doing here, and then practice it. Alright, so the first step, the array. Where are we going to search? The array means the function is asking that where it should go to search. Well, for my array in the initial index function, I'm going to go to the master employee list, and I'm actually going to grab the entire list from A1, control shift down arrow, control shift right arrow, all the way down to I38, right? So let's get the entire list, and then I want to log that A1 to I38 using the FO key to make A1 I38 absolute, because remember we want to copy this formula, so I don't want that range to change. It should be an absolute reference. Now row num. So here is where it gets tricky, right? The row number. I don't know what the row number is. I can't tell it, right? That, oh, get row number 5 or get row number 10, because that's based on the IDs over here, the employee IDs. So this is where we bring the match in again, and we did this earlier also. So I go to my row num, and I'm going to type in match open parenthesis, and if I come up here and click on the match, bring me into the match arguments. Now lookup value. Ultimately we want the first name back, but in order for us to get the first name, we are going to get the employee ID, which is inside cell B3. Now for that I am going to hit F4 a couple of times. I want to log the column but not the row. So it will be $B3. Alright, the lookup array. I'm going to click into the lookup array there, and I'm going to go down into the master list, and I'm going to grab from A1 down to A38, and I'm going to just log that entire thing by hitting the function F4 key. Okay, now if your F4 key is not working, because that's a shortcut, but in your system, if you're not able to use that F4 key, then you can always type the $sign in manually. So just remember, you're just locking the column and the row in both of these references, A1 to A38. Lock it down. Now match type. If you want the exact match, remember this is the match function, bit different than the VLOOKUP. We are going to put a 0 in there instead of true or false. Cool. Alright, next thing, I'm going to go back to the index. Remember, if you are on Mac, you hit the FX button after you click on the function. So I'm going to go to the column num. Now we didn't use this one earlier. Remember, our initial array is the complete list just from A1 to I38. So it's got multiple rows which we just handled, but it's got multiple columns. It's not just a first name, but we want to get the last name, we want to get the department, the pay rate, right? Not just first name. So column num, I'm going to bring in another match here. Open parenthesis. I'm going to come up here and click on match. For the lookup value, first time around we want C2, which is the first name, and I'm just going to log a portion of that. I'm going to lock down the row because we want to drag this down. We don't want the row to change, but we want to drag it to the right, and in that case we want the column to change. Okay, so the next, to look up the array, I'm going to go to the master employee list. I'm going to grab from A1 to I1. And I'm going to log that down using the F4 key. Match type 0. We want the exact match. Alright, so this is exciting, right? There's a bit going on in there. You can see this formula up here. It's pretty decent size formula, a bit going on, and I can close the last parenthesis here. If I don't, it will actually correct it for me, right? But I'm now done with that calculation. I'm just going to hit the OK. There is hovered 1054. That's hovered, right? I'll just double click it, bring that down. Nope, I don't have anything here. It was blank, so I can just hold it and drag it to the down. And these all the first names, one formula, right? I'm going to drag it to the right as well. Take a look at this, and there's all the data. Howard Smith in the AT department, 11.25 pay rate. Completely done, right? I don't have to modify anything. Created the formula once and I reused it for all the cells here. Again, it's a decent size formula with a bit of movements inside there, but if you nail that down, then one formula complete the entire table. So try this out, pause it, rewind it. It's a complex formula, so get it all done by practicing this formula again and again. So as this is a complex formula, you can get confused, so I would request you to try this out. Pause this video, rewind it, rewatch it, but do the practice on this exercise file. You can get this exercise file downloaded from the link provided in the description of this video. So get it all done. You get that one formula and drag it and your work is done. Excel will take care of everything. So that's what I wanted to share additionally on this index and match function, that how it can make your life easier if you are able to write this kind of function, this kind of formula inside of Excel. Just you have to do it once and then Excel will take care of it. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and as I always say, if you like this video and enjoying this journey, then please do like, share and subscribe my channel, and also press the bell icon to get the latest content update on this channel. Alright, then we'll meet up in the next session. In case you have any questions, any concerns, then do let me know in the comment section of this video. So see you in the next session. Till then, stay safe, have a great life and take very good care of yourself.